Question 3. Fill-in-the-blank questions can be sneaky because it takes a moment to figure out what type of question it is. You need to look at the keyword that's in front of the blank. Here, the keyword is that so. We can also see that this argument is structured as an analogy. It begins with an analogy and then asks us to complete the analogy. The analogy is supposed to be between a century and a life. So just as people in their last years spend time looking back on the events of their life, people at century's end something. Now our prediction here would probably be people at century's end look back on the events of the century. At the end of your life, you look back on the events of your life. At the end of the century, look back on the events of the century. So go to the answer choices looking for that. Answer choice A, reminisce about their own lives. That's not an analogy. That would be the exact same thing. Look back at the end of your life on your life. Look back at the end of the century, also on your life. Answer choice B, fear that their own lives are about to end. There's nothing in the original comparison about fear. It's just looking back. So that's not our answer. Answer choice C, focus on what the next century will bring. Remember, the first half of the analogy, we were supposed to be looking back, not looking forward. Answer choice D, become very interested in the history of the century just ending. Now that's what we wanted. At the end of your life, you look back at your life. At the end of the century, you look back at the century. So D is our answer, but why is E wrong? E says reflect on how certain unfortunate events of the century could have been avoided. There's no hint that we're trying to avoid the events of our own lives. Just we're looking back on them. So at the end of the century, you look back on the events of the century. Answer choice D is our answer.